Yo, what's up guys, Boss here, and I'm back with another YouTube video, and we are #1 in the world, #1 global. I mean, yeah, you can see here, #1. I mean, it took a lot of patience in playing and kind of stress, because you can see my battle log here, 20 trophies, 17, 25, that's not too bad. But lots of the wins are very little amount of trophies, so it takes a lot of time. But I did it. And guys, I have 5 replays that I shared in the clan that I think you guys will find very beneficial to help you guys learn how to play this deck better. It's relatively easy to use to begin with, but there are a lot of matchups that people struggle with, and I have some great tips to help you guys out. So first match is one against Ruben, the CRL player. And there's one against Golem, which is used a lot more right now because of the Night Witch. And then I have one here against this very funky deck who had Rocket, Poison, Wall Breaker, so very strange. And then this was a mirror matchup. I absolutely destroyed this guy, so it's going to be a quick replay. And then I have one here, which was the game that got me to 7,100, I believe. And if I have time, I'm going to be showing this replay too, because it went by really quick, and there was a very small tip I wanted you guys to know that happened at the beginning of the game in that one that I'll get to 5 times. So guys, let's go ahead and go into the first replay against Ruben. So Logbait, guys, is in my opinion a relatively easy matchup. The key in this is to bait the Rocket with your Witch and then get a ton of value out of your Sparky. So right here, he just Goblin Barrels, IEWIZ, typical start to the game. And then you'll see here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with a Witch in the back, and he's going to Rocket it. This was a bit unfortunate for me, because I didn't have a Sparking rotation. If I had a Sparking rotation, we would have punished him and gotten so much value with the Sparky. But unfortunately, when I Witch here, you're going to see I still need to play one more card until I'm back to a Sparky. So obviously, I can't just cycle a Fisherman, you know, and then play a Sparky immediately, because that's just investing too much elixir at once. Because then let's say if he decided to go in with a Prince other lane, I wouldn't have been able to stop it. So I just decided to Fisherman Baby Dragon. And the key with this deck is being patient. So in a lot of matchups, you're not going to be able to go in with an ELIXIR Golem or Sparky until even sometimes double Elixir. Really depends on the matchup, but there's some matchups where even if you're versing a really fast cycle deck, you still want to go in for a push like Sparky, and you could even ignore Wall Breakers, for example, which are used a lot in the meta right now. And that's a replay that I'll get to. I believe it's either the second or third replay where I end up ignoring Wall Breakers, and that's something you have to do a lot with this deck. So look at this. This was key. He rocketed the Witch. Now I can go in with the Sparky, because he doesn't have a rocket in rotation, and he doesn't even have a reset to the Sparky. So at this point, he's pretty much in a lot of trouble. I can Fisherman here to pull the Princess into the middle. That's something that's really good to do. I was actually really happy to do that, and now there was no way he could stop this. I mean, he goes in with a Dark Goblin Gang to distract the Sparky for a couple of seconds, but I can just poison the Dark Goblin. Blobs are on the tower, and yeah, there's really no way he's stopping that. So unfortunately, since I logged the Princess, he is going to take a lot of damage from our tower, and this might have been the only mistake I made the whole game, was going in with a Sparky in the back here. I think instead of going in with a Sparky, I should have gone in with a Witch, and the reason why I say that is because if I went in with a Witch, it would have gotten more value, because he might have even rocketed it, and then I could have played a Sparky, or it just would have been better, because honestly, that exchange wasn't good for me because he got a ton of tower damage. And at this point, it's pretty much tied up, but I'm not really worried, because I know, I mean, this is just easy for me to overwhelm him. And you're going to see here, he gets kind of worried about that Witch and Fisherman, so he just goes in with a Rocket on top of that, and that might have been the biggest mistake he's made this game, is rocketing that Witch and Fisherman. Even though that's decent value, I mean, he knows we have the Sparky, and the Sparky is almost impossible for him to deal with without the Rocket, so he kind of needed to save that. And now, I mean, I'm just keeping up the pressure at this point, cycling witches and stuff in the back still, because I don't want to be too aggressive, but at the same time, we definitely need to make sure we're keeping the pressure up. and then he rockets again, which I'm really surprised about because he keeps getting punished every time he goes in for those aggressive rockets on the witch. So now I Sparky again, always Sparky when he has that rocket out of rotation. And I believe, guys, this is the push where I just completely overwhelm him. That Goblin Barrel too, little bit, I believe, of a mistake. He might have already given up at this point. I don't know what that Goblin Barrel was, but I just Elixir Golem, Witch in the middle, Fisherman pulls away the Prince, and that's going to be a good game, guys. Honestly, relatively easy. Logbait is an easy win with this deck, even if you're versing Logbait Inferno Tower. The Inferno Tower, if you guys didn't know, does really, really bad against the Elixir Golem because of its split, kind of, and it's, and in a way, the Elixir Golem's kind of like a swarm card when it breaks up. So your opponent has a really hard time dealing with it, even if they have the Inferno Tower, and that's not even considering if you have like a Witch or something behind it. It's really, really tough for them to stop. So let's go into the next game, and this is against Golem. So I really wanted to show you guys this one because Golem is used a ton in the meta right now, and if you guys don't play it well, you can have trouble against Golem. It is a relatively easy matchup. Even when you're versing Golem Lightning, it's still easy. If they're using Golem Rocket, then it's a little difficult. I've ran into a couple people running Golem Rocket. I'm not sure why people are running Golem Rocket, but if they are using that, of course, you're not going to really be able to use your Sparky ever. But even if it's Lightning, that doesn't completely kill the Sparky, and you can outcycle Lightning really easily. So standard just start to the game, he just goes in with the Mega Minion in the back, and then I E-Wiz. And if they ever poison your E-Wiz or your Witch, then you play the other card. So like if they poison your E-Wiz, you go in with a Witch. If they poison your Witch, you can E-Wiz. That's typically what you want to do because they don't have that spell again for that card that, you know, they would like to kill. That's annoying. Like, for example, the Witch is way more annoying than the E-Wiz. And look at this, guys. I go in with a Sparky. Reason why is if they ever play like a 4 elixir card, 3 elixir card even, in the back that's a ground card, it's pretty much always safe to Sparky. This applies to, like, let's say they drop a Knight in the back, even first play of the game. Sparky, same lane, that's totally okay. It's never really risky, but if they're playing, like, you know, 2 elixir card, like, say, an Ice Golem, or maybe Skeletons, yeah, that's something you don't want to Sparky, because at that point, it's too risky. Like, maybe if they're running 2.9, and if you go in with a Sparky on their Ice Golem, they might just immediately go in with an Expo opposite lane and punish you, so that's not good. But look at that, guys. Nice pull to the King Tower. That's what you want to do. Space out your cards. Like you saw, I played kind of everything spaced out, so then what, like, he couldn't, you know, poison everything. And the Fisherman, yeah, it was all the way on the King Tower, making sure that I could activate King. And honestly, this matchup is pretty straightforward, and I just wanted to honestly show you guys it because I felt like I played this near perfectly. So this really kind of gives you guys a picture of how you want to be playing against these Golem decks. And in a way, this kind of applies to Giant, but I'm seeing a lot more Golem than Giant in this meta, so definitely a Golem replay would be more beneficial. So you always want to just Sparky same lane as the Golem. If they don't have a Lightning, you're always going to be getting value out of that Sparky. And that Witch, luckily for us, locks on his tower. So what I'm going to do here is Fisherman, even though the King Tower is activated, I want to pull it into the middle, so then that way, like, we're able to have the other tower hit it. And unfortunately, like, he did end up blocking with the Night Witch, so we weren't able to pull it. But that might have even been good for us because the Night Witch was able to be taken out. And then look at that. I block, save the E-Wiz, going with the Elixir Golem. And now, I mean, he's going to be able to defend this pretty easily. But it's at this point where I pretty much knew we were in a really, really good spot this game. And that's because we just, our cycle's really, really good. Like, whenever he goes in with a Golem, we're always going to be able to Sparky. King Tower's already activated, so I feel like fine here just going in with a poison and then logging just to kill that Night Witch, get more tower damage, and now I Fisherman, pull the Golem into the middle, so then that way we have kind of like a stun to it, because you guys know like how the Fisherman stuns it, and then also it kind of pulls the Golem away from their support cards, so then you're like, maybe your Witch Baby Dragon can hit the other cards easier, and then like it's just always good to pull the Golem away, and since the Fisherman's so cheap, it's something you can just freely cycle. And yeah, I mean, this game was pretty straightforward, just really honestly, being patient, you don't really want to Elixir Golem single Elixir. Even when you're versing a Golem deck, it's not really something I like to do unless they overcommit, but that guy didn't overcommit. He honestly played, I would say, almost as good as he could, but we just played well, and I mean, what can I say? This deck is just so strong and does good against those exact kind of decks, because just the Sparky is insane in that game. And now, guys, this game, before I go into the replay, I want to just tell you guys, this guy for sure had a really, really good matchup. I don't know how I won this, but we managed to win, and the reason why I say it's not a good matchup, he had Rocket, he had Poison, he had Log. So what that means is he had Poison Log for the Witch, Rocket for the Sparky, and then he had Goblin Cage for the Elixir Golem. So I don't know how I won this, guys. I'm just going to be honest. I mean, I know the deck is broken and all, but I don't think this was a matchup I should have won. But I'm going to show you guys it because I felt like I must have played it really well. Maybe I got a little lucky, probably a little bit of both. He's here laughing at the beginning of the game. I wonder if he knows what I'm playing. I'm not really sure. So he starts off with a Miner, and you can see my cycle here. You don't want a Sparky on top of a Miner, so I was forced to just log and then eat that damage. Now he goes in with Wall Breaker, so I Witch. And I want to pause it right here. So normally you don't want to be too aggressive, but I decide here I want to go in with Elixir Golem and Baby Dragon at the bridge, and the reason why is because he went in with his Wall Breakers and Miner. So both his win conditions are out of rotation. So he can't punish me for a while, and this is safe to do. Worst case scenario, I didn't know what his deck was. He could have played a Mega Knight on this Witch and Elixir Golem, but I would have the Fisherman to pull away the Mega Knight and then end up still getting an insane amount of damage on his tower. So really, there was no risk at all doing this. So you can see here, I go in with my Elixir Golem and then Baby Dragon, and he Valkyries. So now at this point, I was really confused on what deck he was using because I thought he was using Mega Knight, but then he has like the Goblin Cage and the Valkyrie. So I was like, this is weird. Luckily for us, the Baby Dragon ends up locking on his tower, but the bats do take it out eventually. And here, I think I take a little bit of damage from the Wall Breakers, but all in all, that could have been a lot worse. And it's relatively, I guess, even for the most part. I mean, he has like a 500 damage lead, but not too bad of a situation for us. And I think right here, I forget when it was. I go in with a Witch in the back, I believe. And then I think do I Witch or Sparky? I think I Sparky here. No, I Witch. Sorry, guys. And then I think he goes in with a Rocket on top of it. Or a Poison. Wait, I don't really know what happened there. Maybe he like lagged or something. I don't know. Yeah, maybe that's what happened. Maybe he lagged, and that's how we ended up winning, because we played that Witch in the back, and he didn't poison or anything. He just kind of stalled and actually leaked like one elixir, so that's probably what happened there. And then I Sparky in the back, and he goes in with a Rocket on it, I believe, or Wallbreaker's other lane, and IE was on it, and as I said, he ends up rocketing the Sparky anyways. But this might have been a little bit of a mistake here. I witched this lane, and I think he, poisons it, so I gave him poison value. But weird, kind of weird, he ends up going other lane, and I'm forced to ignore this for the most part. So as I talked about last video, ignoring wall breakers is really, really important with this deck. You're not always going to be able to defend them, and in this situation, I mean, we really just had to. I knew he was going to get our left tower. Like, all he had to do was rocket it. Bad miner on his part, and yeah, I mean, I don't honestly know like much to say about this game. I think it was more so mistakes on his end, with kind of just maybe him stalling and not playing anything, and then like how he didn't poison the witch. And I apologize, guys, for the BM. I think I was doing it because it was just like a really, really bad matchup for me, and I was really surprised I won this. I was streaming at the time, so you know, I was like really kind of hyped too. So yeah, I apologize, guys. I don't normally BM only like when I'm really excited, or like if I win a really hard matchup. But yeah, we ended up winning the game. He got our tower down pretty low, but in the end we ended up winning. And I just, yeah, I wanted to share that one because that, I mean, shows even when the other person is using like poison or rocket or whatever, you can still end up, I guess, I don't know if that deck will ever be like meta or whatever in this season. It might be to counter the Elixir Golem decks. I'm not really sure though. But yeah, point is you can always outcycle these decks. And when I was using this deck in Versed Hog Executioner NATO, unfortunately I don't have the replay of that one, I managed to beat it. And the key is to not use your Sparky much unless they use their rocket, and it can be not too bad of a matchup because you can Fisherman their Hog to the King Tower, Fisherman like the Valkyrie away from the Elixir Golem, and it can be really like nice for you sometimes just because of the Fisherman. Not actually that bad of a matchup. So guys, these last two replays, best for last, I would say they're the most fun replays, and this one especially was a mirror matchup, and I absolutely destroyed him. I know his Elixir Golem's only level 12, but he has a max Fisherman, so overall, I guess even card levels, because I have a max Elixir Golem, but I don't have a max Fisherman, so I would call that pretty even. So let's go into this game, guys. It was kind of insane, and this shows this deck does take skill, because mirror matchups, I've won most of the mirror matchups I've had with this deck, so you definitely need to know how to play the mirror matchups correctly. So before this game even starts, I'm going to pause it for a second. When you know it's a mirror matchup, you need to, I mean, you need to use your EWIZ and save it. You can't use your EWIZ if you know they're using Sparky Elixir Golem, because then you have nothing for the Sparky and you're in a really bad situation. That's the key. Save your EWIZ. Everything else you can pretty much cycle freely, like your Log, your Fisherman even. However, yeah, be careful with your poisons too. I mean, obviously the only thing you really want to poison in the matchup is the Witch. I don't typically poison the EWIZ, and the reason why is because if you poison the EWIZ, then they're going to go in with a Witch. But it's all situational, and it depends on what they do. So let's just now play the replay. He decides to go in with a Fisherman, so I go in with a Witch, and I believe he just poisons it here. And then I think I just cycle my own Fisherman in the back. I don't know why I didn't wait. I played it at 7 or 8 Elixir. I should have waited until 10. I don't really know why I played it right away. That was like a little bit of a mistake. I might have been a little nervous when I was playing this game, because I was, I think, like 5th at the time, and I was like 1 or 2 games away from number 1. So right here, notice how I don't go in with my EWIZ, and it's because I know he's using Sparky, and I mean, I'm just cycling my baby dragon in the back. And then here's the big mistake he made. Did you see that? How he went in with an EWIZ there, and then went in with Elixir Golem? That was so aggressive. I don't know if he knew what I was playing at this point in the game, but that was really aggressive, because he basically just went in with the Sparky, and then after that EWIZ, he was basically at 0 Elixir. And yeah, that helped him kill our Sparky, but at this point in the game, in single, in this mirror matchup, you're not really supposed to go in aggressive like he's doing. You don't really just want an Elixir Golem at the bridge, Sparky, you know, do all that in single Elixir. You want to play it way more passively. Cycling baby dragons in the back, witches in the back, logs, fishermen. You don't want to be this aggressive, because this is what happens when you do what he did. Now, look at all I need to do. I play an EWIZ on the Sparky. I go in with a Witch on top of the baby dragon. And then look at the 4 Elixir I'm going to get from the blobs. This allows me to go in with my own Elixir Golem. I called a good game because I know it's over. There's no way he's defending this. I go in with a Sparky now, knowing I just got 4 Elixir and the poison's about to expire. There's just no way he can stop this. Fisherman's too late. We already took down his tower, and he has no Elixir to reset the Sparky. Sparky's going to shoot, kill the Fisherman, hit his King Tower, and now he EWIZes, but now I can play my own EWIZ, and he just has nothing. He cannot stop this Sparky. Witch comes down or Elixir Golem, but it's already too late. Nothing actually. It's over. And that shows you there. Mirror matchups, you have to be really careful what you're doing. I mean, this guy was a bit too aggressive early on, and that just ended up costing him the game. I mean, I don't know how much of this stuff is obvious to you guys, but I really do hope these, replays help. I mean, this deck definitely has a low skill cap, but there's a lot of just people talking about, like, not knowing how to, like, play the mirror matchup or, like, winning bad matchups. And by the way, guys, this isn't a bad matchup. A lot of people say Mega Knight Zap Wall Breakers counters this deck. That is not true. I've practiced it a lot, and I am going to go through this replay. This was the replay that got me 7,100. Not number one, but it got me 7,100. So let's go ahead and watch this. And this game kind of went, I think, a little bit back and forth. I believe what happened is I had to sacrifice my tower, then I took his, and then I ended up 3-crowning him. But let me just watch it, and he decides to split wall breakers in the back. So I log one of them, and then I think I go in with an E-Wiz. Yep. And that reminds me, guys, I am going to show you guys the replay I had to get to number one, because there's a really nice tip that I have in it, and I definitely think it's useful for you guys to know, because there's so much wall breakers right now. So I'll remember to show you guys that. I go in with my own Witch here on top of his Fisherman. He poisons. This was, I think, I forget what happens here, but I think this was a little bad. I mean, he did a lot of poison. He got a lot of damage with the poison and the Fisherman, so that wasn't that great of an exchange for me. I just go in with a Sparky in the back here because I knew I was up a couple elixir, because after that poison he was down a lot and I knew that. So here I believe he goes in with wall breakers, and I just, ignore them. And the reason why is, I've said this before, ignoring wall breakers is really important so you can build up a push. I didn't even feel like spending a log on it, because when you log, that's 2 less elixir that you have to support the Sparky, and it's really good to be able to just go in with like a baby dragon and an E-Wiz after you Sparky, and Sparky connects, and we take his tower right after he took ours. But look at my left lane. I mean, he's at the advantage right here, even though we took his left tower and tower traded. And I go in with a log here, killing his Witch, and then look at this counter push he has right here. He goes with a Miner, wall breakers, and then ends up getting even more damage because one of the wall breakers connects. So there you go. One wall breaker connects, E-Wiz dies, and things aren't looking the best. I'm going to go in with the Sparky in the back here, and he calls the good game. I'm not sure why. I don't know if he meant it as in he's going to win or what he meant, but I think that was way too greedy on his end, going in with that poison and Fisherman. I really don't know why he did that, but I think all in all, that's what ended up costing him this game. So I'm going to poison the Witch, and then I have my Fisherman ready to pull away the Mega Knight. Unfortunately, the Sparky did already die, but still good to pull that away to make sure it's away from the Elixir blobs. And then I go in with another Elixir Golem here, and this isn't gonna be able to be stopped by him, because I go in with an E-Wiz on top of the remainder of his Fisherman to make sure it doesn't pull the Elixir Golem. And even though the Fisherman's there and pulls away one of them, he just can't stop that. And we ended up making, I don't know if that was really a comeback. That game was just really back and forth, to be honest, and he got really greedy with the poison and the Fisherman, but really nice win regardless. So one last tip I want to give you guys, probably the biggest tip, because a lot of people split their wall breakers because so many people play them right now, and I'll just watch this whole game because of how quick it was. It was only, I think, a couple of minutes. So this is basically the tip. If they go in with wall breakers, I mean, a lot of you guys, I just want to say a lot of you guys might know this already, I'm not sure, but if you don't, it's very useful. I mean, it's really just taking advantage of your E-Wiz, that's what it is. I mean, I don't know how many of you will know it, I'm sure a lot of you won't, but if your opponent goes in with wall breakers and just splits them like that, what you can actually do is play an E-Wiz in the middle, and it kills both of them. It's nice because none of them connects, and if Ewiz is your, your only thing in the deck, I think, that can actually stop both of them, because Baby Dragon can't stop both of them, Fisherman can't stop both of them, and, like, Witch can't, and you wouldn't want to play a Witch on one Wall Breaker anyway, so really, that's your only efficient way of stopping 2 Wall Breakers if they split them. That's your only way of stopping 2 Wall Breakers if they're split. So, I hope that's useful to you guys, because I didn't actually know that. I found that out, I think, like a couple of days ago, I think, and I might have done it on accident, or I might have tested it or something in a game, and it ended up hitting both of them, and I was like, okay, that's pretty cool, because that's basically your only way of stopping 2 Wall Breakers if they're split. So, this was really unfortunate for him, guys. Even though he zapped, look at the Sparky. It's still gonna shoot the Witch, and I'm just gonna Elixir Golem here, and that was a little unfortunate for him too. The Mega Knight just ended up being so close to the Fisherman that it splashed, killing both of them, and this was just a really quick game. I mean, this game just really shows how broken the deck is, honestly, and I don't know if you guys heard the news, but nothing is getting emergency nerfed this season, so I don't know how to feel about that, but if I end up getting a top 10 finish this season, I'm not going to complain, obviously. And this guy gave up, so yeah, that game, the purpose of it was mostly to share the tips. And I say wow because I was just shocked that I beat him just basically skilllessly almost, besides the Ewiz thing. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It feels really, really nice to be number 1 on top of the leaderboards. It doesn't happen very often. I mean, I think this is like maybe my 3rd or 4th time being number 1, and this is over the course of like a couple of years. So really, really happy. I hope those replays helped you guys. And let me know if you have any suggestions for the next videos, because I don't think I'm planning on using another deck on ladder. This one's working so well for me. So if you guys want to see a grand challenge with another deck, I'm open to that. If you guys want to see maybe a pro versus pro, leave suggestions of who you want me to verse. I would like to try to verse, I don't know. I don't know. I've talked to a few people. Some were busy, and some were, busy playing CRL, practicing for that. But now that the season's over, I'll try to contact a few of them again. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like if you did enjoy it and you found it helpful. And make sure to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. We're pretty close to 25,000 subscribers, so thank you guys for that. And thanks again until next time, guys.